should say. 41-35, the final score. It was what we said it was going to be. If you guys listen to the radio show or if you watched these or listened to these podcasts, we talked about this. I expected a game that was going to be like that. A lot of fireworks. I was a believer in Taylon Green. I thought that this Arkansas offense was going to have success against this Ole Miss defense, and they sure enough did. We talked all week about Austin Simmons' injury and what that could mean. I did not expect Trinidad Chambliss to be that good. I mean, you heard the praise out of camp. You heard Kiffin talk about him. You've heard what people have said about him. I did not think it was going to look like that. And is a star born in Oxford? Maybe so. So we'll talk about it on this post-game edition of the podcast. My name is Michael Borky. Don't forget to subscribe, by the way, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Rebel Report wherever you get them and subscribe and leave a rating and a review. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment, like, all that good stuff. Appreciate you being here. And we'll do some box score house cleaning, but more importantly, read your comments. That's what we're here for, is to get your reaction. We'll do that after I tell you the podcast is brought to you in part by Toyota of Brookhaven. Check them out online at toyotaofbrookhaven.com. They're also off of Exit 40 right there in Brookhaven, and they'll take care of you. They'll give you $1,000 off on me. If you literally just tell them that I sent you, you get $1,000 off on me if you tell them that you heard about them from me. They've got one of the highest rated service departments in the state, but you don't have to be local to have a great car buying experience. Toyota of Brookhaven, their online inventory is great. You want to shop with people that will take care of you, do that at Toyota of Brookhaven. All right, again, 41-35, the final. We'll go through the box score a little bit and then read your comments. 41-35, the final. Trinidad Chambliss. Austin Simmons dressed, went through warm-ups, but Trinidad started the game, and he was spectacular. 21 of 29, a couple of drops mixed in there as well for 353 yards, just one touchdown. Austin Simmons came in through one pass, and it was for a touchdown as well. Trinidad ran the football well, 15 carries for 62 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Otherwise, Ole Miss did not run the football well today. Lacey did some really nice things in the running game, but his numbers, 17 carries for 44 yards and one touchdown. That's 2.6 per. Damian Taylor took 4 carries just for 9 yards. That's 2.3 per. Ole Miss ran for 118 yards, but only on 3 yards per carry. Arkansas did a good job at stopping the run. Arkansas could not stop the Ole Miss passing attack and Trinidad Chambliss. Trey Wallace led the Rebels in receiving, but they spread the football around very nicely tonight. He had 6 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. Deuce Alexander made an incredible adjustment on a deep ball from Chambliss. He had 4 catches for 70 yards. Kewan Lacey had 4 catches for 40 yards using the backs out of the backfield. That was really nice. Chambliss a couple of times evaded pressure and dumped one off to a running back for a first down. So that was good to see there. Caden Lee had 3 catches for 75 yards. Dejon Stribling had a touchdown catch mixed in there. Daquan Wright had 1 catch, but it went for 64 yards. Logan Diggs, another one of those back out of the backfield things, had 1 catch for 13 yards in the game. I think, you guys might think I'm crazy, I think that was the best schemed Ole Miss, his offense has been, maybe even since Lane Kiffin has gotten to Ole Miss. Now hear me, because I know they've had better offensive days, right? But they did score 41 points. But they scored 41 points, and they did this with a backup quarterback. And I know Chambliss is incredibly experienced and obviously very talented. And what I loved about Chambliss's game today, by the way, what made Trinidad Chambliss's game tonight for Ole Miss better than even what the stats indicate that it was he didn't turn the football over. I mean, maybe there's another one. There was 2 mistakes that I can think of in the game. That throw right before the first half, it was just late on an out route, maybe could have been picked. It would have taken the best play of all time for that ball to have been intercepted, but still late on a throw. And then there was another one where Caden Lee was wide open, streaking down the middle, and Chambliss went to the outside. It was an incomplete pass. There was a couple of bad throws on that last series. He was behind Caden Lee, which would have been a first down, and then just missed Trey Wallace. But what what made Trinidad's game so good tonight was not the 350 passing yards. It was not the 62 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. It was he was smart with the football. He made intelligent plays, virtually no mistakes in the game. Checked it down when he needed to, pulled it down and ran when he needed to. He didn't put his offense in a disadvantage all night long. He was very smart with the football. And with these complement of weapons, as you saw tonight, even when you're struggling in the run game, with those complement of weapons, you've shown, or he showed, that all you have to do is just be smart with the football, and the rest of the offense will take care of itself. That was the most important thing that he did tonight. That is why Ole Miss won the game tonight. Not only did Trinidad play well, but more importantly, he played a very smart football game for Ole Miss tonight, and that is why they won, and that is the biggest stat for him. He was not rattled at all by the moment or by the fact that he was playing an SEC defense as a starter for the first time. He wasn't fazed, and that was why Ole Miss won the game tonight. On the other side, Taylen Green was excellent. We talked about him going into this game, guys. I'm telling you, he is going to be such a problem. Now, it looked like he was kind of favoring his hamstring. That's something to monitor moving forward for Arkansas, but he is so much improved. He was pretty good last year, but he's improved a lot. He's got great coaching. That offense is schemed well, and he was awesome. 305 passing yards on 22 of 35, ran for 111 as well. Arkansas averaged 6 yards per carry. It was an awful night for the Ole Miss defense. Now, they only gave up 7 second-half points. And so, especially in the third quarter, defensively, they did a much better job at bottling up that Arkansas run game. They did a much better job, but still. And then they forced the turnover late as well. Daugherty, who had been, bad for Ole Miss tonight. It was, I think, his worst game as an Ole Miss Rebel tonight. He did a lot of things poorly, but he made the play that sealed the game for Ole Miss, stripping, causing the fumble. It was a great play on his part. So they got the turnover in the second half. They only gave up 1 second-half touchdown. So a better job by the Ole Miss defense in the second half for sure, but they were awful tonight. I was surprised at how often they were allowing Taylen Green to just get around the edge, break and contain. I was surprised at how poorly prepared they looked. And now it's easy to say that. Arkansas has coaches and players too. Taylen Green is an exceptional athlete, and they're coached and schemed really, really well. An elite play caller runs that Arkansas offense. So that's part of it too. But I was surprised at how easy it was to get Ole Miss out of assignment and out of position. And also, they've got to capitalize defensively on opportunities to create turnovers. They did it late, but if I counted correctly, there were at least 3. Being conservative, there was 3 interceptions that should have been, and they were not. One was taken off the board because of a penalty, kind of a weak call, but I get it. But you've got to make those plays if you're this defense. You have got to make those plays, and they most certainly did not. Again, better in the second half. Kiffin said it at halftime that, hey, it's a defense that under Pete Golding has done a really good job of adjusting, and they did that. 28 first-half points, 7 second-half points, forced a turnover late. Better job, but still not anywhere close to being good enough if this team is going to make the playoffs. They got to be able to run the football better. They struggled running the football tonight. They've got to force turnovers when the opportunity presents itself. Did not do that well tonight. But, man, going into a game with a backup quarterback and him playing as well as he did, I keep saying this. I'm going to keep saying this. Arkansas is going to be a problem for people with Taylen Green running that offense. He's very talented and tough to stop. And you hope, the injury's okay. Still a lot for Ole Miss to clean up. Some inopportune penalties can still get better again in the run game. Trinidad, you would assume, with more time, can be even more comfortable in that role. Austin Simmons looked very, very hurt. That's a multi-week injury, it appears. I'm certainly no doctor, but you don't have to rush him back, clearly. And so I would expect him to be sidelined for a little while. Re-aggravated it again tonight. And when you win like that, It's exciting as hell, but still some things for this team to clean up, and that's okay because I don't think that they're close yet to their ceiling. I don't think they're close, and that's a good thing because a lot of things that they do poorly are correctable, and so that's a really good thing. We'll get to your comments after I tell you the podcast is brought to you in part by Advantage Business Systems. Check them out online at absms.com. If you are a Mississippi business and you need office technology, anything from copiers and printers and mail machines, cloud storage, data security, IT projects, phone systems, whatever it is, if it's technology, if it's in the office and your Mississippi business needs it, absms.com is the website. Also, Priority One Bank, to make you their priority every single day with their online banking platform. It's a one-stop shop. All you need is an internet connection. You can do whatever it is that you need to do with your money because Priority One Bank makes you their priority. 1 second here. Give me just 1 second. All right. Sorry. To the comments we go. First one, do we have a quarterback controversy? No. Because you played Trinidad Chambliss until he gives you a reason not to. And that very well could be prisoner of the moment stuff. And maybe that's not the right line of thinking. Ole Miss is going to see better defenses than the one that they saw tonight. Now there's tape on him. Defenses are going to be able to adjust to what he can do and what he can't do and things like that. But no, there's no controversy right now. Trinidad plays until provided a reason not to, in my opinion. He protected the football. And this team can win a lot of games if you just don't make mistakes. And Austin Simmons has started 2 games in his career. His future is still incredibly bright. But if turnovers would have been an issue for Ole Miss tonight, they lose. Simple as that. And again, until he gives you a reason not to, he plays. I think it's that simple. Wasn't stressful at all. No kidding. Pete got taken to the woodshed. Definitely in the first half he did. I was very surprised at how easy it was to get that Ole Miss defense out of position. It's not an athlete issue. I think Ole Miss was being able to, or Arkansas was able to get Ole Miss out of position a lot. A lot of things to clean up defensively. But I don't necessarily think it's a talent thing as much as it is play recognition and stuff like that. Experience as well. Remember, there's a group of guys on defense that has not played a lot, whether it be on the defensive line, which was pretty darn good tonight. Xavier Harris is, my goodness, just an outstanding football player. Centarian Perkins was really good tonight as well. I think he led the team in tackles here. Let me pull that up. Yeah, he led the team in tackles, had a TFL as well. It was a big one mixed in there. I thought Wydett Williams was not quote-unquote perfect, but he flashed a lot tonight. Coming up and helping, making plays in the run game from a safety position was really good as well. But there's still room to grow defensively as well. But yes, it was a tough night there. A lot of just exclamation points in the chat right now. Love to see it. Have a legit quarterback. Feel much better now. Chambliss is QB1. Heck yeah, defense. For now, anyway. Again, I do think that Ole Miss is going to have to counter the counter, right? Teams are going to know what he's capable of and how Ole Miss uses him. And I thought they did a really good job tonight scheming to his strengths. They got the ball out of his hand quickly. They kept things on the edges. Just called a really nice game. But teams are going to be prepared for that now. Still think Simmons has a higher ceiling, but now we don't need to rush him back at all. Simmons could barely walk tonight. Yeah, absolutely. He does not need to rush back at all. That looked bad. Again, I'm certainly no doctor. It looked like a multiple week issue for Simmons. He couldn't walk. Could not walk. That fumble was huge. Yeah, because I thought Arkansas was going to go in and score without it, to be honest with you. Happy Simmons was able to come in and throw a touchdown pass. Hate he's so visibly hurt, though. Yeah, he was in a lot of pain. If Ole Miss can win with a backup quarterback, they can go far. Great halftime adjustments by Golding. First half 28, second half 7 allowed. Well done. You know I'm a State fan, but Chambliss should start over Simmons, right? Absolutely right now, yes. Naming my first son Trinidad. Thank you, Austin, for this super chat, man. Yeah, I was so proud of myself. I was leaving the soccer field this morning when I decided to cut Trinidad's head out and put it on a map of the country of Trinidad. And I tweeted that out this morning. And y'all take it and run with it. I've seen it shared a bunch of places now. It ended up making its way to Facebook and stuff like that. It's a really just goofy and poorly done Photoshop, but it did crack me up to log on to Facebook and see that. So it's funny to me. I was laughing, sitting in the parking lot. Traffic wouldn't get me out of the soccer field, and sitting there making a Trinidad edit on the country of Trinidad. They had a spy on Green in the first half. They were sleeping. It was a very odd performance in the first half. Chambliss balled. Simmons going to struggle to get back if he continues to play like that. Also, no interceptions. Anyone have any extra blood pressure pills that Chaney could borrow? Sure. Fire Weiss, 3 runs last week and 3 passes this week on drives that could end games. I say this every time that gets brought up. You are absolving blame from the head coach who was whistling and making adjustments all night. And for what it's worth, the play calls were fine. The execution wasn't. Chambliss threw the ball behind Lee. Lee was open. It should have been a pretty easy pitch and catch, and he just missed the throw. And then just airmailed Trey Wallace on another short route. But if you're going to criticize Weiss for those 3 plays in the game, you also have to give him a metric ton of credit for taking a backup quarterback who has never started a game at this level before and having, just an unbelievable offensive day. So, you want to fire the guy that took a backup quarterback and scored 41 points, so be it. Petrino's a really good play caller. Green is a really dynamic play caller. Or Green is a really dynamic player, I should say. It took half, but Golding made the adjustments to win the game. Never should have gotten to that point, so undisciplined and too many penalties that cost touchdowns, absolutely. But the beauty of that is those are things that can be cleaned up. It would be different to me if you watched a bunch of guys that couldn't physically do it. You know what I mean? So, what have we found in Chambliss? Take a breath and let's acknowledge this real question. Yeah, seems like a mature, seasoned quarterback. Golding was horrible tonight, especially in the first half. But they made the plays when it mattered, I suppose. Started 4-0 last year, but it was 0-0 in the SEC. Meant not learning much until the Kentucky loss. This year, 3-0, but more importantly, 2-0 in the SEC and way more tested. Absolutely. A lot more tested. And the thing is, you can't win every game by a billion points, right? You've got to learn how to win sometimes. And Ole Miss, that team last season, we talked about it after the game last week. That team in close games 3 times did not execute, did not play well, didn't make the right plays, made mistakes. And tonight they weren't perfect. There were some inopportune penalties. Defensively, they were a disaster for 3 of the 4 quarters, basically, but made a play when they had to late. Didn't make any mistakes offensively, didn't turn the football over, stayed poised. Every time Arkansas countered an Ole Miss punch in the first half, they responded right back. They had a really good start to the second half defensively. They were more comfortable in the heat of it than last year's team was. And so that's a really good point you're making, and that's really important for this team to have gone through I mean, how many different types of adversity in 2 games anyway that they've gone through? In their first SEC game, quarterback throws 2 awful interceptions and you spot Kentucky 10 points, right? I mean, you spot Kentucky 10 points. And then he gets hurt. And so tonight, you've got a backup quarterback in the game, and your defense is giving up a touchdown on every possession in the first half except for the first one, right? So you had an injury issue, and then your backup quarterback, who's now your starter, cuts his thumb, and he's bleeding. He has to come out of the game. And yet they still, instead of panicking, instead of allowing that to become what they were for 4 quarters, they again, like last week, settled in and made plays and made fewer mistakes and got the big turnover and protected the football on offense, and they won a game. Ugly win, but the win nonetheless. Proud of the team in the fight. Ole Miss pre-Kiffin loses this game 9 times out of 10. Ole Miss 2024 loses that game. Walking out of the stadium through the Grove right now, Gritty win, and the team stayed mentally tough through the fourth quarter. How's the crowd tonight? I told you guys, we talked about this Thursday. The Arkansas section, they did not sell all their allotment, and so they returned some late. But it sounded really good and engaged on TV. Simmons remains the more talented quarterback. However, Chambliss played like a seasoned vet. Yeah, and you saw through the game there's some limitations to Chambliss's game. I don't think he has super great arm strength. But the timing and accuracy of him throwing the football vertically was awesome tonight. But the ball hung a little bit a couple of times on deep balls. And again, when the timing is good, then it's good, right? It worked. Well-timed, well-placed footballs, didn't put his receivers in bad situations. So that was good. I do think you saw a little bit, though, that he doesn't have that super-powered arm the way that Matt Corral did. Jackson Dart, I think, had a stronger arm than Chambliss, and I think you saw some of that tonight. But what you also saw, like I said before, was a poise, was a maturity, and was a quarterback that made the right decision basically all night. So prayers for Walker. Hate to see a guy go through that. Yeah, it was awesome to see the thumbs up and everything, but that was a terrifying situation. So really scary. Is Golding overrated and overpaid? If you want to judge a coach's entire body of work on one half of football, then Scott, go ahead. No, he's not. I assume that every so often you have a bad day at work. I assume every so often that I do bad shows. In fact, I think I do them more often than I have good ones. That they had a bad night, but do you eliminate the full body of work of what he's done both at Ole Miss and Alabama because of a half of football? Nah, he's neither one of those things. You will win because you are first, plain and simple. Well, hey, thank you for being here. Trinidad can flat out ball. He distributed the ball so well and wasn't worried about INTs the whole game. QB1. This team really has potential. A few fixes here and there, and this team has a dangerous one. Absolutely. Very good, aside for the drive before the fumble where they had a 3 and out. Yeah, let me see if I can get to the drive chart here. Drives. Ole Miss only had 2 possessions in the second half. And one of them, 2 possessions in the fourth quarter. And one of them was that 3 and out. And the other was they took knees to end the game. That was it in the fourth quarter. But in the third quarter, they punted it away and then had a touchdown and a field goal. So even in the second half where it slowed down a little bit, they had 4 possessions and scored on 2 of them. But, yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you there. But the first half, touchdown, field goal. So it was really good stuff. 4 of their 10 drives went for over 70 yards. 7 of their 10 possessions went for scores. And one of those 10 possessions was the end of the game where they took knees. So 7 of the 9 possessions tonight for Ole Miss, they came away with points. 7 of the 9. Weiss did a hell of a job with the scheme and play calling. I thought it was one of the best called games of Lane Kiffin, his time at Ole Miss offensively, considering the circumstances. Absolutely. Remember when Ole Miss defense played bad and still beat Arkansas in a shootout, and the team went 10-2 and went to the Sugar Bowl? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Pete did seem to have Talon more outside of the one touchdown. No other points were given up in the second half. Arkansas will score on anyone. They will. Defense is okay. They played a really well-coached offense and a super talented quarterback. Yep. Trinidad was poised, ice in his veins. Absolutely. Arkansas has motorcycle man and a great quarterback. It's funny. Chambliss should be QB1 now. It may not be fair, but he's earned it. There ain't no fair in SEC football, man. But you weren't saying it wasn't. I get what you mean, but for sure. Yeah, he's the quarterback until he gives a reason not to. And he's going to be tested this week. I'm not keeping up to date with the score. Maybe I should, because it is the next week opponent. But I know Tulane was in control of Duke for a while, but Duke was coming back. But John Summerall is going to have a good plan for Ole Miss next week. So it's going to be very interesting to see the follow-up for Trinidad. So Duke's down 18 with 3 minutes to go in the fourth at Tulane. So Tulane is about to have their second Power 4 win if they can hold on. Looks like Duke's about to score here. But if they can hold on, Tulane's about to have their second Power 4 win. You think they're going to be intimidated? Not this weekend. Summerall will have them ready. Had your head down saying they were going to score a touchdown, haven't stopped them much all night, then a miracle. See, I know what you mean. Not a miracle, though. Great play. Great play. Defense needs to hit the jugs machine for sure. Yes, they've got to capital. I mean, they put themselves in great position, and they just can't complete the play for interceptions. I mean, Talon Green should have had a few of those, and he got away with it. Why isn't Logan playing? Because, I mean, Lacey's the primary guy. Pass protection from the running backs I thought was really good tonight as well. Pass protection in general for Ole Miss was good tonight. So for the issues running the football, I thought they pass protected pretty well. I believe Arkansas wins that game without that turnover. I like all of you, thought that that's exactly what was going to happen. It's just the best offense they will play this year. LSU, I mean, they won, right? But offensively, again, LSU just not impressive. I mean, they got a defensive touchdown. Let me see if I can find the box score here. Now, Florida's pretty darn talented. Georgia's offense was really good today in Knoxville. Stockton had a couple of big man throws in that game. All right, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, so LSU scored 20 points tonight, but 7 of which came off of a defensive turnover. Lagway threw 5 interceptions in this game. I mean, Nussmeier was fine. I mean, they had 96 yards rushing. LSU did it at home, and Nussmeier threw for 220. I mean, that offense is not impressive right now. And that win against Clemson is looking less and less impressive as things go on. So, possibly so. Trinidad's my new hero. Chambliss is a better fit for what Lane ultimately wants to look like. A good thing Simmons is a studious one who graduated undergrad early because he'll be elsewhere in January. Maybe. I mean, I guess they're trying to get Trinidad an extra year of eligibility, but he was awesome tonight, and I think that he should be the starter until he's not. But it is just one game. Other teams now are going to see what he's capable of, and so he'll have to maintain this high level of play. All right, what was Trinidad's QBR tonight? So on the stats here, his rating, which is not QBR, it's different, right? ESPN's QBR is different than the. I'll look up both numbers. But 186 tonight. Austin Simmons' was 463 because he threw one pass and it was a touchdown. But I'll get the other number for you here in just a second. Pull up ESPN's box score. And they don't have one listed right now. But yeah, so 186 on the stats feed anyway. Opinion on the offensive line play. Not horrible. I like the left side a lot. Pass protected well. Ole Miss kept a lot of bodies inside as well to help with that. Running backs did a good job in pass pro, but it wasn't horrible tonight. It still can be better. They're going to face better defensive fronts than the one that Arkansas presented to Ole Miss tonight, and they didn't run the football great. But again, I look at this from the perspective of what this team needs to be in order to make the playoff. That's what I talk about them from. I watched Georgia play today, and if they're going to go try to compete for and win that game, then they have got to be better up front. They do. But it was a good night. It was much better than last week, but they still can do a better job at running the football. Have to eat crow. Did not see the defense forcing that fumble. Was thinking they almost need to play for a clock. Yeah. TJ went from having a subpar game to making the save of the game at the end. Good on him for keeping his head up. I thought he played until that the worst game. I said it earlier in an Ole Miss uniform. Thought the O-line was fairly decent tonight. Believe last year's Lane loses that game. He's coaching like he's the favorite, so he wins the game. Oh, yeah. You know how lucky Green was with those missed interceptions? Trinidad runs the offense better. Looks like he's just more comfortable with decision-making. Harris going down, maybe bad news. Hope it's nothing serious. He looked okay. Motorcycle guy's a great offensive mind. Yes, he is. He was over pursuing and really bad angles to the ball. And especially and it's easier said than done because Green is so dynamic. There's a reason that teams run that offense, and there's a reason it works. It's really difficult to stop when you've got a guy like that running it and a guy like that calling it. But yeah, bad angles, opportunities at sacks that they missed, poor tackling at times, some bad play recognition. Charlie Weiss deserves his flowers tonight. After seeing the offense production and knowing that the defense has room to grow, does this change your opinion on Ole Miss's ceiling? No, I still think that they have a playoff ceiling. I haven't changed that. And I also haven't changed my season prediction quite yet. So both of those things can be true at the same time. Their ceiling is to make the playoff. Florida looks bad. South Carolina looks really bad, relatively speaking anyway. Get those both at home. That helps. You survived Arkansas, and I think they're better. Georgia's going to be really, really, really difficult. Oklahoma after Georgia's going to be really difficult as well. Those will be two tough road games in a row. But no, I haven't changed any of that yet. Tulane's taking Duke to the woodshed. They're good. They're going to be well coached as well. Injury delay killed the momentum. Thank the Lord for miracles. Yes, it was great to see that he was okay. But it did. Yeah, that slowdown in the game, I think that in part is what stalled the Ole Miss offense. Don't think Chambliss is considered a backup quarterback at this point. He looked much more composed than Simmons has looked and played with a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. 31-7 for Vanderbilt. I told you guys that was going to happen. I told my sister with 2 degrees from South Carolina that today was going to happen. That was brutal. Was that defensive holding as bad as it looked on TV? Huge momentum swing, overturning that pick. Flag should have stayed in the pocket on that one. I think it should have stayed in the pocket on that one. Got a feel for Caden Lee. Feels like he's open constantly, but the QB consistently off target. Yeah, should have led him there, but we talked about it after the Kentucky game. Somebody asked what was wrong with him. Nothing. And he showed you why tonight. He's a big part of the offense. Salty Arkansas fan in here says, anyone would look good against Arkansas, bud. Yeah. Enjoy your drive home, my friend. Green was the difference for Arkansas this year versus last year. Tonight's game balls go to Trinidad and Daugherty. Daugherty did save the game, but I don't know if he played well enough to get a game ball or not. If Simmons started that game, think they lose, could not afford an interception. If he were to throw one, yeah. Stripe looks so solid on TV. I'm not a big stripe out guy, to be honest with you. It did look good tonight, though. When you get fan participation, that's what matters. And the fans did participate. Trinidad this, Trinidad that. Kiwan is still the man. His numbers don't reflect how well he played tonight, to me. I think that there was not the opportunities but to have success for him tonight. And he's still catching the ball out of the backfield was huge for him. And pass protection, I thought, again, the running backs did well. Pete Golding doesn't line up on defense. No, but he coaches the guys that do. Lagway threw 5 interceptions with a bunch of laughs. Yeah. Agreed on the deep ball comments. Looks like he has a quick release and some power behind it. He played smart tonight. Yeah, he doesn't have a super duper strong arm, but it doesn't mean he can't be effective. Golding has problems with running quarterbacks. That scheme actually gave them fits last year as well. I mean, Arkansas scored in the 30s a year ago. Some of it was prevent, but appreciate you, Bo. Thank you for being here, man. Very thankful for people like you. Think people fail to remember this defense is a bit of a rebuild. Yeah, absolutely, especially in the secondary. A lot of guys that came into this defense late didn't participate in spring practice or weren't on the team at all. So there's going to be some growing pains there. There's no doubt. Also, you can't really see it right now. Look at this. I don't know how to fix this. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? It's horrible. It's driving me nuts. Every time I turn my head, I feel it. Don't mean to be Eeyore. Got a long season to go, and don't jinx us with your rat poison about a new star is born. We got LSU before long. I don't think you've listened until that comment, but I hear you. I've said this is just one game. I've said teams are going to have film out on them and all that stuff. So appreciate you being here, but I have said everything that you are saying that I need to say. All of it. Tulane's going to be 3-0 and probably ranked heading into Oxford. Yes, I would expect Tulane to be ranked. Well, maybe not, though. I don't know. What was the I guess USF, by the way, is no longer a top 5 team. Is that not a thing anymore? Are they not a – let's see. Where did they receive votes? Vanderbilt only got 1 vote in the AP poll. Is that really true? 1 vote? What a joke, man. Arizona State got 94. Vanderbilt got 1 going into this. What an absolute joke the AP poll is. Tulane got 9 votes, so maybe not. But as we learned, AP poll voters are not. They shouldn't be doing this. Easy to say Simmons will not be starting again after this performance of the backup. For now. If the defense can lock in, they'll go deep. Not trying to undersell Trinidad, but now there's actual film on him. Can he replicate his success going forward? I hope so, but I guess we'll see. Yeah, we talked about this earlier. I thought Daugherty had his worst night in an Ole Miss uniform. Say Austin could go back to baseball. He's not going back to baseball. Don't think we can have real quarterback competition with all the resources they put into Simmons. Chambliss is a senior. Simmons is a sophomore. He's the future, just what it is. Yeah, but if one of them is a better option to win games, then you don't worry about the future. You got to win games now. That's the job. Especially if they are trying to get a waiver. I mean, eligibility, seems like you can get an extra year for everybody. So was it just you, or on the first drive, was there a no-call false start on Arkansas for a touchdown? So I think it was their second drive, right? But yes, there was. Place kicker is a big plus for the team. Absolutely. He's very good. He's very good. Vanderbilt's going to be ranked. They deserve it. Take Sellers out of South Carolina, and they're a struggle for a bowl game team. They're not great with him either. Tulane may be better than Kentucky and Arkansas. They're going to be very well coached. They do not present what Arkansas presented to Ole Miss's defense tonight offensively. They don't have the similar athletes in scheme, to be honest with you, that Arkansas presented to Ole Miss tonight. But they're going to be very well coached and very tough, yes. Samsara Gaming with the Super Chat. Really appreciate you, man. I think I finally got your name correct. I've avoided saying it to just so I don't insult you by mispronouncing your username here, but really appreciate you, man. You say thanks for what you do. Favorite Ole Miss show. Really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. You did not have to do that, but I really appreciate that you did. Simmons has all the talent in the world, but I think it's more of a head thing, trying to live up to the hype. Falling Dart isn't easy, and he's young. I mean, Trinidad has a lot of experience. They said it on the broadcast. He's played a hell of a lot more college football than Austin Simmons has. Different level, but, it's still game experience. Austin Simmons didn't play that much high school football. So he's not anywhere close to his ceiling. So you don't write the book on him and just cast him out aside, but now you let him heal. And you see if Trinidad can keep this level of play. One down left for A&M in South Bend. 4th and goal from the 11. Can I get it up in time? That's what she said. I shouldn't have said that either, but that's okay. Can I get the game on in time? Come on, ESPN. Come on, ESPN. I'll see if I can pull up Hulu, although this might disrupt the stream. All right, I got it. We can watch this together, although we are going to go live again tomorrow to talk about all the other games. All right, we're here in time, so we can react to this together. Texas A&M, I tried to watch all the other games too, but obviously focused on Ole Miss for, again, obvious reasons. Watched a lot of Vanderbilt, South Carolina. Vanderbilt's defense is tough. This is a great year for Vanderbilt to not be on Ole Miss's schedule because they're tough. They just really are. Again, I'm not impressed with LSU's offense at all. Lagway threw 5 picks. Florida's a disaster. Napier's getting fired. Lagway has not gotten any better. Sellers, to me, has not gotten any better. Taylor Green's gotten better. Gunnar Stockton looks better. Tennessee has gotten better at the position, although it's a different guy. Arch Manning's not ready, just simply not ready for this. He can get better, but he's not ready. Tried to watch a lot of football today, as much as I could anyway. More so today than I usually can. But here it is, 4th and goal from the 11. Notre Dame Stadium, waving towels. Marcel Reed, the once Ole Miss commit. Can he be the hero? And a touchdown wins this game, too. You guys are probably ahead of me. I'm not looking at the chat right now. Brings a man in motion, takes the snap, looking to throw. Pressured from the inside, going to pump fake. Throw one up, and it's caught. Oh, my gosh. No way. Wow. A&M's going to come away with a win. Marcus Freeman looking sad. How do you say Bohr Kriker? Is that how you say that guy's last name? Amazing. Wow. That was awesome. Thank you for alerting me to that. I'm so glad I got to see that. That was awesome. Wow. Marcus Freeman's defense giving up 40, possibly 41 points. Now, if you're Notre Dame, do you call timeout here? Do you ice them? I mean, you got 13 seconds left. Do you really? I guess you use both of your timeouts, but we're also going to get a little fumble Ruski type stuff here. Oh, he was not in danger of missing it, but he did pull that extra point a little bit. Wow. Marcel Reed, what a throw. Great play. Had pressure up the middle a little bit anyway, but slides to his left. Perfect pass, touchdown. Great catch, too. Wow. Stones, man. Absolute stones. Yeah, drifting to his left. Little pump fake. Yes, that's perfect. Great play from Marcel Reed. Perfectly placed football. Little hand fighting, not a penalty at all. Watching Oklahoma's quarterback run the ball and then watching Arkansas's quarterback run the ball makes me a little more nervous for Ole Miss's defense stopping Oklahoma. Yeah, he's good. He's really good. The thing about Oklahoma to me, though, is they don't have a running game outside of him. Arkansas did. And Arkansas, as a result, I think that even caused more issues. And Mateer's good. He's not as dynamic as Green athletically, though. So I think that's part of this as well. So, but that's a tough place to play. All right. I guess we're going to sit here and watch the end of this one, right? I can't hang up here. Chambliss played great, but I think people need to understand that healthy Simmons would have sliced them up too. I think so, but are we sure? I think so. I think you're right. But are we sure? Because what we've seen from Simmons so far is a high ceiling, really good arm talent, bad mistakes. And a mistake tonight from the quarterback loses the game. So I'm with you, but a mistake tonight from the quarterback loses the game. $11 seconds to go. Notre Dame's got a chance to run a play to get a first down and maybe take a full shot at the end zone. I don't know what kind of arm that Carr's got, though. But, I mean, you got to get across the 40, you think, to take a full shot at the end zone. He's holding it way too long and throws what should have been an interception, and it wasn't. Bad internal clock from the young quarterback there. He has to get the ball out. You're in it. Got to get it out faster because even if it's caught there, could have been pass interference, though. A&M maybe got away with one a little bit. Receiver gets pushed to the ground as the ball's in the air. All right, here's the game. Just got to pitch it around a bunch of times. Yes, I am from South Carolina, Greenville specifically. All right, here it is. A lot of pitches. Notre Dame's going to run out of bounds before they can. That was awful. Not prepared for that moment. Texas A&M wins. Wow. And we're not prepared for that at all. Just go ahead and stay live for the Pac-2 after dark. No, I am going to hang it up and go lay down after this. Offense is more balanced with Chambliss. Didn't do that 3 bad play calls with the lead this time. Yeah, see, the plays didn't work. I don't think the calls were bad on the 3 and out. I don't. Just the execution was bad. Fair on mistakes, but you think it developed. Simmons is key to reaching the ceiling. Yeah. From Georgetown, the Low Country. Well, good to see you. Is that Tiana? Or Tiana? We'll go with Tiana. Appreciate you being here. How'd you stumble on this out of curiosity? But always enjoy the low country. Beautiful down there. Simmons in pain on the sideline, looked pretty rough. I mean, he was in a lot of pain. Kudos to him for taking a snap and throwing the football, but College Game Day is going to Miami and Florida? What? Hold on. They already went to Norman, didn't they? That's the problem. Did they went to Norman, right? So you can't go right back. Can't go to South Carolina, Missouri anymore. Gosh, it's a bad slate in the SEC, to be honest with you. This is a really horrible weekend. But what's the schedule around the Miami, Florida? Florida's 1-2. And I know they're not the home team, but that's your College Game Day game? What are we doing here? Can't go to Syracuse, Clemson. They're 1-2. Texas Tech, Utah. Oh, that's you. I guess you can't go to the big noon kickoff game. That's the game you need to be going to. 2 3-0 teams get to go to Salt Lake. Bad decision there. Gosh, what? That's so stupid. You shouldn't have gone to Norman for the Michigan game. Or you could go to Nebraska. You go to Lincoln. Michigan at Nebraska, maybe? I cannot believe. I can't believe that. That's horrible. Tulane wins. They're rushing the field, by the way. Tiana. Appreciate you being here, Tiana. Canelo or Crawford? I'm not a fight guy. I'm not anti-fights. There's only so much sports capacity that I've got, you know. Drop passes on the 3-and-out. Play calling was fine. Gamecocks potentially worse than Kentucky. Without Sellers, they are. And, you know, Chambliss, those were 2 bad throws, to be honest with you. Missed Wallace bad, and then ball was way behind Lee. Probably should have caught it, but a better pass, and it's an easier play for his receiver to make. Illinois and Indiana. Is that also that weekend as well? Yes, Illinois, Indiana. Go to Bloomington. What are we doing here? What a bad decision from College Game Day. That's gross. That's really gross. That's really gross. I'm going to go, guys. Really appreciate you being here. We'll be back live tomorrow, though. We'll come right back live for our Sunday night usual. We'll just kind of talk about what else happened around the SEC, maybe anything else that pops up. Lane Kiffin will do a local media hit tomorrow. And so maybe some news comes out of there. So we'll do that stuff tomorrow. So appreciate you guys being here. As always, like the video, all that good stuff. And I will see you tomorrow night.